Hello and welcome to Blythe Business News, where today we're talking to Oriole Resources. Oriole is a gold exploration company operating in West Africa. Today we're going to be talking particularly about Cameroon. Oriole is listed on the AIM market with the ticker of ORR and has a market capitalisation of just under £3 million sterling. I'm joined today by Bob Smeeton, who's the company's Chief Financial Officer. Bob, hello. Welcome on the programme.
Hello.
This morning, Oriole has provided a strategic update on a potential funding source for the Eastern Central License Project, or CLP as you call it. Firstly, could you remind viewers what the Eastern CLP project is?
Yes, sure, Tim. Yes. I mean, the CLP, as we call the original A license package we were granted in 2021, sits in the centre of Cameroon. It's twice the size of Greater London, for context. And the Eastern CLP is the 5 licenses on the eastern side of it, and it's the area we've done the most work. We've identified a number of initially gold in soil anomalies, including a 12.5 kilometre anomaly in the Mbe license, and more recently we announced a 3 kilometre corridor which was showing rock chip samples of up to 134 grams per tonne. And the thing about the CLP and the Eastern CLP in particular is the sheer scale of it, which I think people sometimes struggle with. In context, Chester Resources, their Diamba Sud project has 860,000 ounces of gold on it, and it's a 53 kilometre square license. Now, the Eastern CLP is 40 times the size of that. Now, we're not suggesting we're going to find 40 Diamba Suds, but you can imagine the scale, the huge opportunity this is. It's a great piece of ground.
Okay, so a vast, great piece of ground. We're talking today about the funding, though. What detail can you give us on the funding source?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we've fought for a long time now that funding at the project level will give us a better chance of fairly valuing the projects compared to funding at Topco, where the share price is a little in the doldrums. So, and I think that's been borne out by the fact that there's an implied $10 million valuation for the CLP in this funding, and really this is a first step in project funding. A number of things in Cameroon. Meetings in February opened the door to this. We've given the mandate to a Canadian investment bank. They've got an excellent track record of funding in the resource sector, and they're pretty confident the offer is going to appeal to their investor base. So where we are with it is we've signed an engagement letter. The marketing is about to start. The offer is going through their process. We've anticipated, based on discussion with them, it will complete this quarter, which isn't a problem. We need these funds for the next field season, which starts in Q4. So that's where we are with it.
Big assumption, but let's assume that the funding does come through. What will that mean for the development of the project?
Well, yeah, the funding coming through gives us confidence to accelerate our drilling plan for the Eastern CLP. We want to drill test the best defined targets as quickly as we can, and this money would allow us to do that. So that would be the 2 targets I talked about in Mbe. And at the same time, we'd be working up other drill targets throughout the rest of the Eastern CLP for future rounds of drilling, if the initial results justify it. And the aim is always with us to define a resource quickly, as we did in northern Cameroon at our Bibemi project, where we went from first drill hole to resource in 18 months. So that will be what we're trying to get done in the CLP.
Let's just look at, you mentioned earlier, Bob, the Eastern CLP, Eastern Central License Project, is just a part of what you've got in Cameroon. Could this approach, this sort of project level funding, also be used to develop other projects in the portfolio?
Yeah, very much so. We very much see this as a first step to trying to fund as much as we can at project level. rather than raising at Topco. Bibemi in northern Cameroon, I've talked about, it's got a 300,000 ounce resource on there. We've got a pretty good view of how we could get it towards 1 million ounces. That 300,000 is on one of 4 targets, and with a bit of drilling, we think we can get it moved up to that 1 million ounce level. And we've got a pretty good view of how to do that, and that is likely to involve either project level or probably JV. And it's worth remembering, Bibemi, there's an industry metric about the value of gold in the ground at the resource stage we've defined. And Bibemi itself, on that 300,000 ounces, one target out of the 4 is currently worth about twice the market cap of the company. So funding into that at that level and JVing it would be a good way of hopefully closing that disconnect between the value of the projects and the value of the company. So that's what we're trying to do. Alongside that, we obviously announced some lithium results. So our exploration team did some multi-element work while we were prospecting on the CLP, came up with some lithium, have subsequently applied for a license to the south that looks prospective for lithium. And of course, we get a load of interest from people on lithium. It's very much a hot topic. I think our approach to it is we've got to be careful to test the potential scale of the opportunity before we really jump into project funding it. But we're a gold company, not a lithium company, so we don't want it to be a distraction, and hopefully we'll be able to move that along rapidly. And as I say, there's plenty of interest from a number of lithium sort of plays that are in the market at the moment.
We always like news flow on this program, Bob. So finally, what can viewers be expecting from the wider Central License project and from Oriole itself in the coming months? What should we be looking out for?
Well, on the same lithium theme, I think the next results we're expecting from our field work is some rock chip samples are coming back from assay on the lithium prospect. So that'd be quite interesting when they come out. Expecting them this quarter. Before that, we're likely to receive the R&D tax credit relating to 2022. The claim's already submitted, so on prior year timescales, it should be sort of in the next few weeks to month. So that'll come quite shortly. As I've indicated, we're working on other sort of project level initiatives. We've got a number of things underway. Nothing we can talk about at the moment. All a bit too early stage in some ways. But we will obviously report back as soon as we can on them. So that's what I would say will be coming shortly.
Well, thanks for that, Bob. That was Bob Smeeton, Chief Financial Officer of Oriole Resources. Oriole, as I said, listed on the AIM market, a ticker of ORR. And Bob was updating us on the new financing, the proposed financing arrangements for the eastern part of the Central License project in Cameroon. That's it for this edition of Blythe Ray Business News. Thanks for watching.